Um, I guess to recap the regional, it started off with a really a tough loss to a very good Houston team, 1-0. Had an outstanding pitcher, and it just seemed like we couldn't figure her out that night. And so we immediately got down and got in the hole, 1-0, a heartbreaking loss for Summer. I thought she pitched tremendous in that game, and to look at her after the game and realize, we allowed her to lose with that effort was really hard as a coach. But we had just been struggling to score runs for the last 2 weeks. So anyway, we went into Saturday with nothing to lose. We talked to the kids. We had a meeting at the hotel. Just let it go. Let's play ball. And we had Fordham, and I think that was a good booster for us. I think they chose to go with their number 3 pitcher, and we were able to get 2 walks to start the game, and then from there take it and score several runs. And offensively, we were able to get loose and free for the first time, I think, in several weeks, and put 13 runs on the board. I believe the final score was 13-5 maybe. But then we came back again against Houston, who had in turn played LSU, a 1-0 loss. Had lost to LSU 1-0. So they were coming off a loss, we're coming off a win, and we were able to keep going offensively and get another win. And I thought our offense showed they could put runs on the board against Houston, and we played with the same, lot looser, freer attitude to plate, which got us into Sunday, into the championship with LSU. I thought we were very well prepared for both Houston and LSU's pitchers. We knew what they threw. We'd watched a lot of video. We had, hit on the field and worked on our approaches against them. And I wasn't sure if they would start Hoover or Wall Jasper, both outstanding senior pitchers for LSU. And they started Hoover, and we got down in the game 4-0, but we were making contact. We weren't getting dominated by any means. First inning, I thought we hit the ball hard twice out of 3 at-batters. And, Kelly Martinez come in and said, hey, she doesn't feel fast at all. We're going to do good today. And throughout the first 3 innings, even though we didn't score, the batters were coming back. And I said, how'd it feel? And said, it feels good. We're ready. We see it good. We don't feel like she's dominating her, so she didn't feel fast to them. And then we were able to get a run on the board, make it 4-1, and we had the bases loaded, put Joe in to pinch run just in case we happened to get a ball to the wall, or a ball in the gap is what I was thinking. But Courtney Grimion hit a ball down the left field line. I think the left fielder slipped and fell in front of her, and then somehow must have got by her, and JoJo was able to score all the way from first base, and Courtney ended up with a double, I believe. And so we're tied up 4-4, and we end up taking the game into extra innings, and we're very comfortable in extra innings. I felt really good at that point. I think we were 7-3 in extra inning games at that point, and we're better in the long ones. So we had a really good record when the games go 9-10 innings, and the longer the game went, the more confident I felt like we were going to win, and we were able to get the 5th run and win that game 5-4. I'm still not sure what inning. I want to say it was the 10th. Is that right? 10th inning. And so then we go to game 3, and they had Wall Jasper on the mound. I felt really good. I thought, well, we've seen Wall Jasper now for several innings. I think we'd saw her for 4 innings or maybe 5 at that point in the first game. So you got to feel confident going into game 2, knowing that she was outstanding pitching. You give her all the credit. She continued to do what she does. She throws the drop ball well in the river inside or on the corner of the plate inside. She can throw the drop ball on the outside, and then she's got a great off-speed pitch. She used all 3 of her pitches effectively, and I thought that she actually pitched better the second game. We had a couple of opportunities, but we didn't get the run in, and so we're down 1-0, I believe, going into the top of the 5th or top of the 6th. Long day, and so it all kind of goes back, but we had runners on first and second, I believe, with 2, 3, 4 coming up, and we didn't get anything done on the 2 with our 2-hitter. So we had Grimion up. We decided to run a play we work on all year to move the runners over to third. I wanted the runners at second and third with 1 out, and Kara up. It just opens up a lot of options for us offensively. She got a ground ball kind of in the 5-6 hole, and Ariel Mass, who had led off the inning with a line drive single up the middle and played outstanding all weekend for us, defensively in center field, and had used her speed in game one as well. She delivered a single up the middle and was able to steal third, and then made a great decision to go on a ground ball in the 5-6 hole and tie the game at 1-1. And I believe it was the 6th inning when we had a ball in the gap, in the outfield gap. We hit our cutoff perfect, made a good relay, a strong throw home, and you know the play was called safe at the plate, and we got down 2-1. And then then they end up with first and third, I believe, after that situation, and score 2-1, and we get a ground ball to short. We get the lead runner, but we don't get the trail runner, so we're down 3-1. And I guess I got through at that point, so I didn't see the rest of the game, and we lost 3-1. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, did you get a chance to see a replay?
I have not watched the replay as of now. I haven't. I saw it live, and you know, I know it's silly probably for a coach to think that he saw something from 60 feet away better than a person standing 6 feet away that's trained to do the job. And I'm assuming I'm wrong. I haven't saw the replay, but in live, I was pretty sure I was right, or I wouldn't have went out and argued in the first place. But you know, I'm also a highly prejudiced individual, so I hope the replay shows he's right.
It seemed this team was not uncomfortable playing from behind. I know you got the bats going eventually, but behind against Houston, behind against Georgia State, you know, scoreless with Texas State, and behind LSU. LSU had given up a run until the 6th inning of you know, the game that you guys played against them. What is it that the team doesn't give up?
You know, we're not going to ever give up, and we're never going to quit. I think one of the qualities or the characteristics of any great ball club is to keep fighting, no matter what the circumstances. We're going to fight. We're going to fight hard, and I think that my coaching staff, we're going to set that example. The girls, obviously, this program is a program that's always been fighters, and they're going to continue to do that. And so, we're just never going to give up.
Coach, throughout the off season, it would be easier for you to live with it if the call went right or if the call went wrong?
Oof, great question. You know, I don't know that it matters. I'm proud of my kids. I'm really proud of my team. I'm proud of the program. And I understand umpiring. You know, if they want to fix things, they'll add instant replay. They've got instant replay in high school soccer. So if I had anything to say, if I'm NCAA tournament, if I'm NCAA director, if I'm a rules committee member, I'm calling for instant replay. Just if I want the game to have the ultimate amount of quality. On the other hand, you put people out there trained to umpire. They're out there for 17 innings. It's hot yesterday. I was hot and tired. No doubt the home plate umpire was probably the hottest, tiredest person in that stadium. He's got to make a split-second decision. And so sometimes they make a call that may have been right. Like I said, I've seen still pictures, but I haven't seen the play. And you've got to see the play on video, but I purposely have not watched it as of now. I don't know whether it's because I don't want to know or you know, maybe I don't want to know I'm wrong. Because I felt so sure that she was opposite the call, which that I felt really positive I was right, or I wouldn't have went out and argued the way I argued. On the other hand, I really don't want to know I'm right. I'm hoping he was right and I'm wrong. Does it make it any easier either way? I don't know that it changes anything. Our kids lost. LSU won. They advanced. That was my point when I went out and got through out, was I just want to be sure that you know, the umpire knew and the fans knew, that everybody in the stadium knew that if that out at second was the third out, we're in a 1-1 game going to the next inning. That was my point. I thought it was important for my kids that, hey, if I'm right and the call was wrong, it's a 1-1 game. We're still playing softball. And I knew that it was a possibility I would get thrown out when I went back out the second time, obviously, and I thought it was worth the gamble for my kids. I was hoping that he would be patient with me, but he wasn't, and he had every right to throw me, and it is what it is. So it's going to be a long summer, but nothing could make you more determined and more. I'm a fighter, so you know I'm going to be fighting hard. We're going to do better next year, and nothing could spur me on more, you know, than the way the game ended. So I'll just use it in a positive way.
41-16. Given when you got the job in December, I think you had maybe two practices with the team before you got a staff.
reflect on what this ball club was able to accomplish?
Not fully. I know they're great young kids, young student athletes. I know the seniors are great young women, and I know that I'm very fortunate to have had them in my dugout all year. As far as fully comprehending what the season and what they've done, no. I need time to reflect.
What is it about softball that makes it a festival type atmosphere? Down 4-0, runners on at second and third. And again, LSU still haven't given up a run, and the Cajuns dugout's going nuts. You know, we watch the games here this week with the Sun Belt Conference tournament. People watch the SEC tournament. You know, it is all business, all serious. Maybe not a little bit too serious. Why does it seem like softball players have more fun than baseball players?
I don't know about baseball, but I don't want to say anything. It's not about, as far as softball, you've got tremendous young student athletes. It's a great sport. It's a sport where, you know, you can go a long time without scoring runs, or you can score a lot of runs in a hurry, and every game can be different. And I think that's what makes our sport great. It's a compact field. The bases are close together. Every play is a split-second play. You know, any ground ball to shortstop, it can be develop into a really close play. So a lot can happen in a hurry, and our kids understand that. I think most kids in NCAA tournament, most teams would understand that. You just can't afford to give up, and you know that any moment we could come back.
Coach, for you, how much of this program's success in the future hinges on, you know, beating a team like LSU? Because it seems like it'll be a program you guys will run into, you know, quite often.
Yeah, obviously when you're, you know, an hour apart, you know, you're going to be paired up often in the NCAA tournament, and you're always going to paths are going to tend to cross, I would assume, on a regular basis. No different than when I was at Georgia Tech, or when I'm at Texas A&M, you got Texas or Baylor. So that's part of it, but I think that's a good thing. I think you've got that internal rivalry or in-state rivalries are a really great thing for our sport, and I think we should use it. I think we should use it and play as often as we can, because I think it's good for both programs.
Any plans to try to play on a yearly basis?
I would love to, yeah.
Coach, the fact that your girls played so well on Saturday, you were upset after Friday's game and fairly critical and frustrated. Is that a good sign how they played on Saturday, that by the end of the year they get you, they get your reactions, and like y'all are on the same page in your motivations and the way you do things? Is that an indication of that?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I've been doing player exit interviews all morning, and I've done about 6 players, but 2 of them have said, you know, we didn't feel like a team until this last weekend. We didn't feel like a team, and I thought that was, maybe you just have to lose. Sometimes you have to lose together and fight together, and to get to that point where you become a teammate. It's like a lot of times your best friend in life started out as not so good a friend or an enemy, and you develop a great friendship because of that. And I think that that's part of this process, is that our team has to learn. They've got to learn to trust me, and I think we can use that going into fall. A lot of things that I think are important and that I thought was important in February, they didn't get, they didn't understand. And I think to me, like, a great example was the second, third steal. That's always been a key thing for me, because we can take advantage of it. And early in February, when I tried to put it in, I couldn't fathom that play, and we get throw out third, and we should never, ever get thrown out on that play. You either get in safe or you turn around and go back, because there's nobody behind you at second, and they didn't understand that. And we messed it up, but we got it. But then yesterday now there's not one person in our dugout that doesn't, oh, now I know why Coach thought that was important in February. And that's part of the process. That's normal for outstanding young people to question, and sometimes you got to earn their respect. And I think that it's been a process over the 57 games of my having to earn their respect, and hopefully we did that.
Coach, what's happened in this past year that you didn't expect, maybe just from this fan base or from the team, that you really were like, wow, I didn't see this, or I didn't know something meant this much to these guys? Is there something that happened over the year that you didn't expect, and you can look back and go, oh, yeah?
I could probably go on for about an hour, because there's so many things, you know, like right off the bat, I would have never dreamed that Summer Ellison would be the pitcher that she is. When I looked at all the stats, before I got here, I talked to Dr. Maggard on Thursday, and I come over on Friday for the press conference, and I'm looking at stats every chance I had in that 24-hour period, and I can still remember Summer had 20 innings and 23 strikeouts. Is the numbers in my head? That may be off a little, but I think that's right. Never ever would you dream that kid would do what she did, and I'm really, that was one of the shocking things, and then the resiliency of the ball club to go through all the things they went through and having to accept all the change they had to accept to be able to keep going and play at the level they played at this weekend, I thought that surprised me. I thought we could go over and compete, but I didn't see, when you beat LSU in extra innings on their field, when they got all the momentum going in, I thought it was just something you wouldn't expect coming in, but it happened, and it's on and on. The kids are just very resilient. Young people are resilient, and these kids are obviously a Division I athlete, probably way more resilient than the average person. So they're just a great group of kids.
Can you talk more about Summer? You said 20 innings last year, 23 strikeouts. Didn't she start off with 20 strikeouts in her first outing this year? She pitched 13 innings yesterday. Seemed to pitch better tired than she did when she started out.
I think getting relaxed. Once she got, obviously the game started, the first inning they hit the ball hard because, she's going out there with, sometimes your adrenaline and your intensity can cause you to overthrow a pitch or over muscle a pitch, and I think the tireder she got, the more she got just loose, and her muscle memory took over, and she's just pitching with her mind instead of pitching with her muscles, and so she's just a great, started. I think the way you look at Summer is simple. We knew Evansville had a great pitcher that we expected to. I thought it could be a 1-0 game, and I thought we're going to hold her the third game because we thought it was our best shot to win a 1-0 game, and she went out and struck out 20, which I did not expect. I expect her to keep the score low, but other than that, everything else was beyond. And then comes right back with, I believe, a no-hitter, and then came right back and beat Florida. And so after three outings, she's established herself as a special young sophomore pitcher. So she quickly got on the radar and established herself as who she is.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, what are some things maybe one thing that sticks out that you want this team to improve on, to work on, that has to be better going into 2019 if you want to get to the level that you want to be at?
Offense, we've got to become more of a power hitting team, and we'll spend the fall learning how to swing and make the ball jump off the bat. And it's the sequence of the swing creates power, and the fall will be about teaching the sequence. The sequence of the swing determines whether you can wait on a changeup and hit balls with timing. And we didn't get that. I just don't believe you can teach all that in season. And I didn't try. From day one this year, we prepared. We worked on hitting rise balls. We worked on hitting curve balls. We worked on hitting screw balls. We worked on changeups. We worked on velocity. We worked on a lot of things, but we did not work on the sequence of the swing, because when you open that can of worms up, you can make a 400 hitter, a 300 hitter, or a 200 hitter out of a 300 hitter a lot easier than you can go the other way. And I thought the thing we needed most this spring was to work on competing hard every day. And next fall will be exactly a dead opposite. I'm sure the girls are going to be shocked by fall, but fall will be about teaching the swing, teaching the sequence of the swing. And I expect us to go up in home runs to 50 to 60 next year. I don't want to give up my defense. I don't want to give up speed. We have to have speed in our lineup. I think the best model right now in college softball is Florida. I think they play the game the right way. Their roster is built the right way around defense and speed and home runs, and they have a balance. And we want to keep a balance, but we've got to get our home runs up from 20, 25, whatever they were, up in that 50 to 60 range next year.
You mentioned the double steal, and then I think of Ariel's, the run she scored. Did you maybe call a more aggressive game this weekend, or game plan more aggressively this weekend, take a few more chances, kind of understanding what was at stake versus maybe earlier in the season?
Well, early in the season I was ultra aggressive. I wanted the girls to understand we will be an aggressive ball club. I want their identity. I wanted them to begin to think of themselves as a team with speed, as a team that would create chaos. is a word I like to use, creating chaos. And we played that way, I think, through the first half of the season. The last third of the season, I tried to go away from that because of scouting reports. I wanted to go into the playoffs. I wanted to become a lot more conservative. I tried not to use the squeeze play. I think we only used the squeeze play. We used it 3 times, I think, against Oregon State. Or it's a lot like that weekend. We probably used squeeze play 8 times. But then the last 3 or 4 weeks, we probably only used squeeze play 1 time or 2 times, simply because of scouting report. I knew teams would be watching the video on the last few games. I didn't want to steal as much. We tried to keep as much off tape as we could because, you know, we're saving things for the regional, trying to win the regional and super regionals was the plan. So that was kind of, I think, things that maybe not made sense to the average fan, but was going through my mind.
Coach, going back to playing LSU more often, would you rather play them there or do a home and home, or how would you want to do that going forward?
Well, I think any coach would rather play a home and home, right? But I'm not opposed to playing. If they call and ask us to come over Tuesday night, we'll be there Tuesday night, you know, and we'll just see how that all plays out. And I think Coach Torina is a competitor. I think she'll be calling and asking us to come over and play, and if she does, we'll go play. And I think it'd be great for both programs.
Thanks, Coach.
You mentioned you have a younger team, and I just wanted to ask about the senior leadership that you guys had this year. I know you didn't have a lot of seniors, but can you just talk about the importance of that this year?
Yeah, we had really great leadership from Kylie Joe, who's been here her whole career, and Kelly Martinez, who's been here her whole career. Those two are absolutely tremendous leaders, and they knew they've been around winning teams. They know how to win in college softball, and they know how to play tough. They've been taught how to play the college game at the highest level and play hard-nosed, and they've been very instrumental in helping us to keep that going and keep that same type of mindset in the program.